Viewers, here we are going to present Freebies has become a political tool to achieve the political power. In the context of coming 2024 parliamentary election in India, but as a political tool, it is harming a lot to the economy or Indian economy because here through freebies the political leaders are putting printed money in the pocket of electorates just to buy votes. So freebies has become a political tool to achieve a political gain. It has become a political guarantee as political parties are providing to the electorates. But its economic impact is far, far worst, which is going to face Indian economy. Here, the basic thing you will see that budget, which has become a tool of politics, where a relationship between budget and capital, a relationship between budget and labor has been denied, where the dominance of a relationship between budget and voters and through freebies has been turned into a bad shape. It has taken a bad shape for Indian economy. So there is a need of budget to increase productivity of capital. There is a need of budget to increase the labor productivity so that inflation and unemployment, not only India but globally, it can be solved in the present rising inflation, recession, and unemployment situation our global economy is facing. This is the pertinent question. But question arises how it has emerged. Now you will see that it has originated from the US economy, where in 1968 you will see that the then president of US Robinson has brought this theory of borrowing, more and more borrowing for more and more welfare. This has been a wrong concept which has been distorted, which has been brought by distorting the Keynesian economic theory, where Keynes has said that, and which has been presented in 1936, that government should spend money to drag economy from economic stress. At that time, spending of government has become important factor for global economy to drag the economy from distress. But further, the taxation policy and the welfare policy, which has been brought by ACPU as well as Pareto, and which is popularly known as Pareto's welfare economics, where Pareto's welfare economics says that economic welfare means maximization of social welfare, not maximization of politicization of this welfare for political welfare. Here, in present scenario, globally we see, not in India exclusively, but globally we see that the 1936 Keynesian economics has been distorted. The Paretoian welfare economics has been distorted, where Pareto says that economic welfare means maximization of social welfare, where Keynes has said that government spending is must. But for political benefit, the then US President Robinson in 1968 has distorted both Keynesian economics as well as Pareto's welfare. And here he has presented that spend more by borrowing more. This concept has virtually distorted the Keynesian theory as well as Pareto's theory of welfare. Since then, and after that, the Robinson of US president has won the election on this theory, where borrowing, spending more and more by borrowing has become a keyword for as a political tool by distorting welfare as well as by distorting government spending. This is the concept which has been brought from US economy, where the then president US of USA Robinson has brought it into the practice. And in these days, such thing has been brought in the form of freebies. In freebies, we see as a political tool of welfare as well as government spending. Here, government spending is done by borrowing more and more as well as by sidelining welfare, because welfare, in the name of welfare, free-wise has been brought on the forefront in Indian economy, where there is for all over, for almost all political parties to say that there is a guarantee of free wise, whether in the form of free electricity, in the form of free corn for each family, each individuals, for other free electricity, free gassing, free gas, free CNG, and other LPG and other sources. These are the distortion of economic welfareism which has been meant for maximization of social welfare, not maximization of political welfareism for political party. But this path has been shown by the then in 1968, the US president who has won the election by distorting economic welfare as well as Keynesian economic theory of government spending, never Keynes has said the distortion of these things. Never Pareto has imagined such type of distortion which has been brought in Indian context as a free wise. Free wise doesn't provide any solution, long-term solution. In Indian context, if you want to improve the economic activity, economic production, growth in GDP to make India a 5 trillion economy, then it cannot be possible by distorting economic welfare as well as distortion of Keynesian economic theory, where government spending has been put in certain circumstances. But these things has been distorted, and in the Indian context, free wise has come into the practice just as a tool to achieve political power, as a guarantee to achieve political power. In this situation, the greedy electorates as well as greedy politicians both are, for the time being, just alluring one to one, whether politicians are alluring to the voters or voters are alluring to the politician, it is a matter of discussion. But Freebies has certainly become a political weapon to achieve political power as a guarantee of political power by providing guarantee of freebies in different forms in Indian context. This is the thing. In Indian context, if government of India or any political party want to solve the problem of youth's unemployment, the problem of rising inflation, then printing of money and putting it into the pocket of electorate means buying of votes by politicians will hamper the Indian economy because unemployment problem, inflation problem, and other social evils cannot be diluted, cannot be made a better weapon for economic development. So, to increase capital productivity, to increase labor productivity through skilled manpower by producing and generating more and more products and services for the nation is the only solution. So, budget and the relationship between budget and capital, relationship between budget and labor are essential to increase GDP growth rate, to increase GST. But in present scenario, there is a blame game by political parties in rule and other opposition parties, and they all are using the economic welfare for the purpose of social maximization of social welfare has been distorted. So the situation is becoming worse and worse in Indian economy. There should be a proper thinking on over is that over these things, because without productivity of industry, without increasing the productivity of agriculture, without increasing productivity in service sector, through agriculture, through industry, through services sector, how it can be possible to increase the GDP growth rate? If government is presenting the GDP is rising without increasing the output in industrial sector, in agriculture sector, in services sector, and by showing that GST has become a symbol of economic activity, this is not up to the mark, because economic activities depends upon by increasing the labor productivity, capital productivity, and human resource capacity, skilled human resource productivity. These are the basic things in present scenario where other resources are limited. So capital productivity, labor productivity means skilled labor productivity should be increased by providing them a better education, better health facilities, and other basic amenities, by providing better infrastructure facilities. So the need of hour is putting the capital into these things. Without putting capital into these things, the GDP growth rate cannot be increased. So the demand of our is to increase labor productivity, the relationship of budget with capital, the relationship of budget with labor, the relationship capital with human, skilled human manpower, the relationship of budget with global market economy, because Indian youth have a potentiality to do a hard work, and without hard work it cannot be achieved. By printing money and excessively injecting this money into the economy will only harm, because it will make man, labor power, capital, skilled manpower, and other resources in a lazy form, laziness. And it so printing money, and by showing that this is the increasing the GDP growth rate is not a good criteria. So the need of hour is just to increase your productivity, land productivity, capital productivity, skilled manpower productivity, other resources productivity, why increasing infrastructure facilities, why government is spending through capital expenditure, where capital expenditure is the need of hour. So capital expenditure, why saving, public saving through private saving, then these saving will become the basis on the basic foundation for the economic development. Here, Government of India is borrowing excessively. Government of India is printing money excessively without increasing productivity in agriculture sector, in industrial sector, in services sector. Then how it can we imagine that India can become a 5 trillion economy, and without it, how the prosperity and individual labor and what skilled manpower, unemployed youth will be better. So, prosperity of individual well being for the economic welfare, through economic welfare, not by subsidies, not by freebies, are a good thing. Freebies should not become a political tool to achieve a political power. Certainly, government, any political party may achieve a political power, but by achieving political power doesn't be a standard for economic prosperity of the nation, economic prosperity of an individual. So become India a more and a better and higher economic power globally, then it should increase its capital productivity, it should increase its labor productivity, it should increase other resources productivity, it should provide clean air, it should provide a clean water, it should provide better health facility, better education facility, which are lagging. In capital Delhi, few days earlier we have seen the air quality index has become worst, and India has become one of where the capital of India, Delhi, has become one of the worst polluted capital of the world. This is the situation. In this situation, politicization of freebies is the worst thing because it is damaging the basic economic foundation of Indian economy, where the energetic youth are ready to hard work, but they are not being provided job, they are not being provided employment. I am not only saying that government employment, other type of employment is also necessary to generate, to produce higher and higher productivity through these highly potential youth power, because India has more than 65% youth power, which has potentiality to generate a higher and higher income. But their economic lot has become worst in the midst of rising inflation, rising unemployment level, and the worst air quality, worst clean clean water facilities, worst infrastructure facilities. So these are the basic things around which the government of India, not only government of India, but other political parties should ponder over, that free-wise by printing excess money or by injecting excessive money in the economy will only increase inflation rate, increase unemployment rate, where problem of unemployment will rise, where our unemployed youth will be forced to engage in other unbelievable economic crimes in social undesirable undesirable activities. These are the things. So to save our youth, to save our or to maximize our capital, to maximize our labor, there is a need of stopping free buys by injecting money into the economy, where through we free buy we put money into the pocket of electorates, and after getting into power from other pocket of the same electorate, the government gets money for their expenditure, for their as a source of income. But the same electorates cannot ponder over these things. Government is also not thinking in long term for the economic prosperity of the nation, for the economic prosperity of our youth, for the economic prosperity of the Indian, overall India, why producing, why generating more and more products and goods, services for a global standard quality to market it on a global market level and a global product, global services, global products should be sold in the global market. So, global standard products and services should be produced by our enthusiastic youth power who has a potential, who are ready to work hard. What government should provide them a proper opportunity in the interest of nation, in the interest of youth power, in the interest of society. So distortion of economic welfare, which has a primary objective for social maximization of social welfare, should not be diverted, should not be distorted, where government spending which has been provided by the Kens should not be distorted in not only in USA but even in Indian context. For because we are Indians, we should concern our youth power, which has a potentiality. We should have other resources to increase our resources productivity, because we also have a capital which are not in abundant form, although this is good but not in abundant form. By injecting money, by printing money in the economy is not a solution. Increasing production, increasing productivity of capital, youth power is the primary objective, or the primary objective should be for our political parties who are going to involve themselves in coming 2024 parliamentary election. This is the nutshell of my vision on free wise. Free wise is not a better thing. So we should concentrate over productivity, increasing productivity of capital, increasing productivity of labor, increasing productivity of youth power for how to produce global standard good for global marketing. This is the fundamental, this is the mantra of economic welfare. Each and individual, by involving each and individual for the economic prosperity without discriminating in the name of caste, in the name of religion. This is my thinking. A lot of thanks to my viewers.